What's up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Barbecue. What I'm going to be doing today is going to be a stuffed poblano pepper. I'm going to be using a bunch of different things. My main ingredient is going to be shrimp in this. Anyway, one thing that I do that's a little bit different than a lot of people when they use peppers is people like to de-seed those peppers. I like to keep the seeds in the pepper. To me, that's just a little bit of additional flavor. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you guys in so you can kind of look at what the ingredients are I'm working with. Now, there's not a specific recipe to this because we're basically just emptying out the refrigerator. Things that need to go, along with some things that don't necessarily need to go. Come on in. I have some poblano peppers. I'm going to roast these, skin them, and then we're going to cut a slit down them. Like I said, we're going to leave the seeds in that. I have some garlic we're going to mince. Some celery we're going to chop. We're going to dice this tomato up, as well as the onion. Same thing with the mushrooms. Just regular shred on that cheese. The shrimp, we are going to chop that as well. I also have some rice. Now, that's going to kind of be our binder, but I also have some breadcrumbs. I'm not sure if we're going to be using that or not. Cilantro. Right here, we're just going to rough chop that. The seasoning that I'm going to use on this is going to be a Tango Spice, Tango Verde seasoning. I think that's going to go well with this recipe. And I am going to use salt to taste on this as well. This seasoning doesn't have much salt in it, so I'll be adding a little salt to that. Anyway, I'm going to get my prep work done. When I'm done, we'll be back. Skillet, we have a little bit of oil in there. I just happen to be using coconut oil just because. Feel free to use whatever kind of oil you want. We're going to go ahead and add our onions and our celery, and we're going to cook those down for just a little while until they start getting a little, till they start wilting a little bit. Then what we're going to do is add our garlic and our mushrooms. Now, where I want it, I'm going to go ahead and throw in this garlic. Now, while we have this going, I do have my peppers, and they are in the oven right now. I have those on a high at 450 degrees, and what's going to happen is the skin's going to start peeling away from that. If you have a gas stove, the best way to do it would be to just roast the pepper over the flames, or if you want to do it on a grill, but I don't want to light up the grill for just that. So that's what we're doing with those peppers. The garlic started getting a little fragrant, so we're going to go ahead and throw in our mushrooms. Now I'm going to turn this down just a little bit, and we just want to cook this until the mushrooms are softened, and then we'll be on to our next step. Our mushrooms, after about 3 minutes of cooking, they're starting to get a little softer, so we're going to go ahead and throw our shrimp in. Now, we haven't seasoned this yet. That's coming. The shrimp's not going to take too long. As a matter of fact, the residual heat from this pan should be enough. I'm going to go ahead and throw in some of this rice. And I'm not sure if we're going to need this, if we're going to need the breadcrumbs yet. I'll know in a little bit. Actually, let's go with all that rice. Now, I still haven't added my tomatoes or my cilantro. What I'm going to do is shut this off and let the skillet basically cook this down. I'm going to let it cool down, so it's probably going to take about 15 minutes, and then we're going to add our other ingredients and our seasoning, and then we should be about ready to stuff these peppers. This is kind of cooled down enough for me. I'm going to go ahead and add my tomatoes and my cilantro. And I just kind of want to wilt these tomatoes down. There's still a little bit of heat in there, not a lot. Once it gets totally cool, or not maybe totally cool, but once it gets cooled a little bit more, we're going to go ahead and add that cheese. And then from there, we're going to know if we need to add any more breadcrumbs or anything like that to kind of thicken it up. Anyway, I did just check the peppers. Looks like the skin is kind of pulling away from the flesh, so it should only be a little bit longer on that. See you back. Now while our mixture's cooling down, our peppers look like they're peeling away from the flesh, so we're going to go ahead and throw these in a plastic bag. What this is going to do is help the skin pull away even more. We're going to zip this up and let this sit for about 15 minutes before we start peeling them. This mixture is cooled down about where I want. I'm going to go ahead and add my tango spice to it very liberally. Then we're going to add our salt and then some cheese, and we're going to see kind of how thick or how this kind of looks. And then we may add some breadcrumbs. So you know what, let's just add some breadcrumbs just in case. So we're just going to throw in about yay much. You know what, I think that's going to look pretty good. So we're going to sit at this. I'm going to bring my peppers over and we're going to get stuffing these up. I've already kind of started on this. Basically at this point, once you take these peppers out of the Ziploc bag, it should be pretty easy to kind of remove this, the skin that's on these peppers. So we're just going to pull these off, or pull the skin off. And you don't have to pull all of it off. If there's some that's still kind of sticking to it, that should be fine. But you don't want that. You don't want anything, you know, feeling like film on there. So actually, that looks good. Should just be able to open it up with your fingers. Now that that's done, we're going to open it up. Notice all them seeds in there. That's goodness. We're just going to come over here with our hands and fill this up. So now this is ready to go in the oven. I'm just going to go at about 280 degrees just to get it warmed back up again. Going to do that for about 15 minutes, then we will add our cheese and be done. Cooked about 15 minutes. We're just going to go ahead and hit them with some of this cheese. And at this point, all we're going to want to do is kind of melt it on here. So we're going to throw this back in the oven and let it go for about another 5, maybe 10 minutes, however long it takes to melt it, and it should be good to go. These things just came out of the oven. Cheese is melted on them. It's time for me and Dome Bettis over here to go ahead and take a bite out of it. See what's up. So what's up?
The pepper's nice and spicy and cooked perfectly. The filling's nice. It tastes a little bit of shrimp in there. The cheese is melted for perfection. I think it came out great.
Alright, well he didn't even know I added shrimp in there. But that's what it is. The shrimp stuffed poblano pepper. I think it's all that. Thanks for checking it out. Run by again, take a look at a few more videos, and don't forget to comment, subscribe, and I'm out.